Yo, what is up, guys? Shinobi here, back again with another video for you guys. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again with another reaction for you guys. Now, I was running around, kind of messing with Twitter. And first of all, this Hasan Piker versus Ethan Klein debate, it was everywhere. But apparently, somehow the Bleach anime got mentioned, or like Bleach was mentioned in this whole entire debate. I don't know how. I don't know how. All I know is that shit's funny as hell. I hope that that's somewhat in this video, but either way, from what I've heard of the debate, yeah, even like from what I've heard, yeah, Hasan got cooked is what I'm hearing. Like he got beyond cooked is what I'm getting out of this. Is like the gist of what I've heard of how this went down. I haven't watched the whole entire thing. Is that Hasan basically lost his composure multiple times, got checked in multiple areas, and then he went like on this huge rant at one point or some bullshit. I don't know. But the general consensus is that he got cooked. Not that, not that Ethan won. It was like Hasan kind of just cooked himself. That's kind of what I got out of it. But either way, I'm mostly here just to see what the hell they're talking about with Bleach being mentioned. That's what I'm here for. But either way, let's get it. Let me know down below who you guys thought won the debate. I already know this comment section is probably gonna be a shit show. Is what it is. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I want to see this though. This is funny. I did not know that. Like people talk about Bleach is irrelevant, but yeah, it got brought up in a conversation like this. That's funny.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rip here. So today we're going to be talking about the much anticipated debate between Ethan.
I didn't even know they were doing this. I probably would have just watched this just for funsies. Though to be honest, I probably wouldn't have been able to watch it anyway. What, this happened 9 hours ago or some bullcrap? Yeah, I was at work. Never mind. There's no way.
Now we're going to look at some clips from this. It's obviously a 4.5-hour long debate, so we're going to just hit the most key parts of the debate. But before we get into the clips, I just want to make it very clear. I think this was a massive L for Hasan Piker.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Let's be real. Based on what I've seen so far, I mean, I don't really know much about Ethan Klein or Hasan, but from what I do know about Hasan and, his, I guess, coverage of the whole Middle East and everything like that when it comes to Palestine and Israel and all that bullshit, is that, like, it's pretty bad, bro. It's pretty bad. Not gonna lie. So, seeing this, I'm not surprised he got cooked. I'm really not. And the funny thing is as far as I know, I don't know much about Ethan Klein, but all I do know is that he's not even a political channel. He's like a comedy channel or some bullshit. I don't know. I don't watch either one of these two, to be honest. But, like, theoretically, shouldn't Hasan have won this whole debate? Since he's, like, the political dude, that's, like, all he talks about or some crap. Like, in theory, he should have won this, but apparently he got cooked. So we're about to see right here. Some of these clips I might have seen already, too. That's the crazy part.
Why he thought this was something he should have done. He got absolutely embarrassed, okay? And you have to understand at the same time here that Ethan Klein is a dude who runs a comedy podcast, and Hasan Piker is a guy who streams 12 hours a day about politics. His whole world is supposed to be about politics, and they have this debate, and he takes the L. It should have been a complete sweep for him. He should have had a very easy time, but that's not what happened. Instead, he got caught in many different lies. He said some very out-of-pocket stuff and honestly just started crashing out halfway through. So before
sounds about right.
I want to point out one more thing. Throughout the clips, you're going to see Ethan Klein here. He has some tics where he moves around his hands and he moves around some of his facial expressions. That's because he has Tourette's. This is a fact that is mocked in Hasan's community. It's mocked by many different communities that don't like him. In fact,
somebody down below let me know what Tourette's is, because I've never heard of that. But Tourette's is a disease. It must be like it's like a disease or something like that. Yeah, well, I had to look it up, but it sounds like it's like a born illness, like something that I have. Like I have a born illness myself, obviously, with arthritis, gout, that kind of thing. I was born with that. So it sounds like a born illness.
You can see during the debate, Anissa here,
no big surprise that Hasan and his fans are out there trying to,
that is something that they have been
do what they're doing, though. No big surprise there.
These are trying to downplay his Tourette's and say it's a symptom of having a drug addiction, which is a very disgusting thing to do, especially from these so-called progressive people. But let's see some of the clips here. This was the pre-show. This was not a good start at all. You can see him going after.
Yeah, I think I've seen this clip. So this clip, I think Ethan was talking about how they were sponsored by Shopify, and then Hasan talking about some. Of course, Shopify sponsors terrorist, supporters. Not, which is hilarious. The irony in that is hilarious, since he supports Hamas, and obviously he had the Houthi pirate on his stream and everything like that. So the irony on that shit is funny. But then on top of that, he also realized, oh yeah, Shopify sponsors me too. So I kind of cooked myself. I saw this.
Some of his sponsors.
I saw this.
Hasan also has.
I saw this.
Say, first of all, thank you to Shopify for sponsoring us. I also want to thank
Shopify sponsoring terrorism by way of, well, I guess they sponsor my podcast.
Yeah. You look stupid, don't you now? Holy fuck, this dude is dumb as hell. He doesn't think before he speaks, bro. He's just yapping.
Amazing. Well, I guess he'd be right, at least for one of the parties, when he says they would be sponsoring terrorism.
I mean, yeah, no, he is right about that. They are sponsoring terrorists, considering they're sponsoring him, and he obviously is a big fan of Hamas and the Houthis and Hezbollah, considering he, is the sponsor for those three. Not literally, but he literally shouts them out so much on his stream that I'm surprised he hasn't gotten banned yet. But, yeah. Like, the irony is crazy.
Anyways, let's move on to this. This was the first words between them, and it was very messy and sloppy right from the get-go.
Are you going to show me all the time as well on the Zoom call?
Here, I can fix that. 1 second. Let me just set it to Ethan's output here.
If you want,
there you go.
If you want, just show not just Ethan, but yourself as well. If you're going to talk, that's fine.
Hey,
I don't know if it's gonna
Hasan,
be too difficult.
leave the production notes to my team. You can switch your show how you like.
Yeah, you can see the kind of attitude he came in with, trying to run the show here, but it's not his show, and he can do whatever he wants on his end. But I'm going to get right into one of the more significant...
See, this is one of the big things for me when I watched that whole content nuke, is the whole thing with him denying that, what was going on, and the October 7th thing wasn't going on. This is one of the big things. It's like, bro, how do you deny this shit? Because there were survivors of this that got released, and told their stories. And this dude, man, I'm just going to let the clip play itself, but...
Clips here. This one is pretty ridiculous, the things that Hasan Piker said. The topic is the October 7th attacks, okay? And during those attacks, there were both women and men who were sexually abused. And Hasan Piker has been a fervent denier of those facts. He has doubled, tripled, and quadrupled down on this. He denies that those things happened during the attacks, and this is what he said when he was pressed on this by Ethan Klein.
During the October 7th, 2023 attack, credible circumstantial information which may be indicative of some forms of sexual violence, including genital mutilation, sexualized torture, cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment, was also gathered.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I'm gonna walk you
Are
through
they
this real quick.
hallucinating?
No. So you just don't know what words mean. So credible circumstantial evidence. Do you know what that means?
It means that there's, yeah, of course.
Credible circumstantial evidence is not a substitute for forensic evidence. Credible
That's why I said Pixar didn't happen, bro.
Not
You need
enough
rape
to
kits.
prosecute.
Hasan needs
Credible
rape kits.
circumstantial evidence is not enough.
Pixar
to
didn't happen, right?
Prosecute rape, which is precisely the reason why the Israeli prosecutors themselves have said that in the absence of a singular victim coming out, and also with all of the forensic evidence that has been tarnished already.
Show me evidence for anything you're saying.
What?
It's not. Show me evidence for anything you're claiming that isn't some unhinged freak on Twitter.
So basically, you can see the logic he's using here. Hasan is basically saying if these things happen, the only way you should be believed is if you immediately take a kit and have the forensic evidence. Otherwise, you're lying, and you shouldn't.
And you know what's crazy is even if he did have that kind of evidence, I guarantee he would still say that they're lying. That's the funny thing. Well, I wouldn't say it's funny because this isn't a joke, but that's the crazy thing is even if Ethan pulled up evidence of this, physical evidence, and showed it to him somehow, some way, Hasan would say it's fake, and so would his followers, guaranteed.
be believed. Now, that's just disgusting for the October 7th attacks. It's also disgusting as a general principle. He is telling victims of abuse, I'm not going to believe you unless you have forensic evidence immediately available. That is
which is
a disgusting
wild
standard
work,
and
bro.
one that people were very critical of
Wild
last night.
work.
In fact, a Larry Nasser survivor came out and said this with a super chat in Ethan's stream here, saying, Larry Nasser survivor Lindsay Shoot here just came to say anyone discrediting people publicly admitting they were raped without amazing contrary evidence is disgusting. Hasan is a horrible human. And if you don't know who Larry Nasser is, he was a part of the medical team for the U.S. gymnastics team, and he abused, I've seen counts as much as 500 young girls throughout his career. So when you have a survivor of that coming in to check you on this related topic, that should be pretty eye-opening for someone like Hasan if he was actually self-aware. Now, here's another one where he is pressed about terrorism. Okay, and
yeah, so here we go.
About Hezbollah, where he says he doesn't have a problem with that terrorist organization. Here's his long-awaited explanation of that.
So are people valid for thinking you're pro-terrorist?
Do you believe the State Department's designation for terrorism is valid?
Is it reasonable for people to think that you are pro-terrorist when you say I have no problem with Hezbollah?
Do you believe the State Department's designation for terrorism?
You out here trying to dodge the question. Because he already knows what the answer is. He got caught in 4K talking about how Hezbollah were good guys and the freaking, what was it? The fucking content nuke that, Ethan Klein made? He already got caught in 4K saying that shit. Like, come on now. He's trying to dodge the question. It's a yes or no question.
And I'll answer yours. Are people valid?
Ethan,
he dodging questions like Kamala was dodging questions during all her interviews whenever she was talking about how she was going to fix the country. And how she's gonna lower prices. Out here dodging them shits like she's fucking Minato, bro. Dodging them like she got flashed up.
You rely heavily on your audience not really understanding the terms that you are using.
Let it be noted.
Imagine being
the
so
answer is
dodgy about
the answer.
This subject.
We already know what the answer is. It's yes. It's yes. Like, come on, bro.
Is a black or white thing. Do you support them or not? And even in this case, he's not even directly pressing him on that. He's saying, do you understand why people would think you sympathize with that group because of those comments? And he can't answer. He refuses to answer it. And also, he's trying to get Ethan this sort of gotcha where he's like, well, you're misleading your very naive audience by saying that, because he's trying to say that basically Hasan doesn't agree with the labeling of Hezbollah as a designated terrorist group by the United States, which to me makes it even worse. Not only is he saying these weird comments about them, he's also trying to downplay their actions. When you're saying that you disagree with that designation as a terrorist group, you're saying their acts are not terrorism. So the terrorism committed by Hezbollah, he's trying to downplay, which I think is something an apologist would be doing. Well, let's move on to another clip where he was recently asked directly, do you support terrorism? This time he had an answer.
I've never seen this one. I've never seen this. I'm curious to see what his answer is for this.
But one that will backfire on him during the current debate.
What, you support terrorism, question mark? No, I don't. I don't support the state of Israel. And I don't support the state of the United States of America.
So when asked if he supports terrorism, he says no. He doesn't support the United States of America. He's doing his own designation now. He's designating the United States of America as a terrorist organization, which is unfortunate for him because that topic would come up later on in this debate when they're talking about Ethan's wife, Hila. For those who don't know, she was born in Israel, and at age 18, you have to serve in the IDF. You don't have a choice. And people in Hasan...
Yeah. That's true. It's like how other countries, when you turn a certain age, like how Koreans, when you turn, I think, a certain age, that you have to serve in the military, or you have to, for South Koreans, it's like, what, mandatory 2 years or something like that. That's why the K-pop group BTS ended up having to take some time off. I don't know what they're doing now, but, they're all, serving their time in the military or whatnot. It's like that, basically. Only difference is for Israel, you have to as soon as you turn 18. It's not even a question. You have no choice. It's like it'd be like the standards. Like let's say it's like the draft for America. Like if you were 18 years old, or I think even younger than that. I think it was 18. It's like 16, 17, 18, maybe. And you were World War I, World War II was a thing. I might be wrong a little bit, but it's like you had to like. That's why people were dodging the draft and everything like that. No, not everybody wanted to go to war.
Hasan's community and the related ones have brutalized her with that fact. They have called her a genocider. They've said that she was killing children during her service and all these wild claims. They genuinely think like she deserves the worst as a result.
You know what's crazy about those claims? Is where's the evidence? In Hasan's own words, provide me proof why it didn't happen. If we're going by Hasan's logic, provide me proof where it didn't happen.
Result of following through with the conscription. But here, he is now giving an explanation of what Hila should have done at the age of 18.
Hasan, you say that Hila could have gone to jail and done a conscientious objection instead of joining the army. Why do you pay taxes?
What?
Why do you pay taxes to the United States government?
This is your big argument, Ethan?
Answer the question.
That I pay taxes and I'm morally culpable? I know. That's why I try to fucking
Why don't
fight
you go to
against
jail?
this goddamn government doing
why
this
don't you
shit
stand
every
up for
day.
your Why don't you stand up for your principles and go to jail for it?
Because it would not actually stop, okay? It would not actually stop. The reason why I'm saying
What wouldn't stop?
I don't take issue with Hila's fucking actions then, as long as, just like you said, she was just 19 years old. I take issue with the fact that she still defends it on principle.
What does she say? Do you want this?
Yeah, that's a pretty good gotcha right there. Why are you paying your taxes to a country, by the way, you think is committing terrorism? Like, wouldn't you be aiding and abetting a terrorist organization?
It is a good question. Because according to Hasan, America, and Israel are terrorist states, so why are you paying them money? Like, I can see now why everybody was talking about how Hasan was getting cooked, bro. And I haven't watched the full live stream, just keep that in mind, but I could see why everybody was talking about how he was getting cooked, because Jesus Christ, there hasn't been a clip yet that I haven't seen in this video or I haven't seen on Twitter of this man not getting cooked.
Organization by your own definition. I mean, this is absolutely insane. His solution to an 18-year-old Hila, she should have just gone to prison and ruined her life at that time. So, 15, 20 years in the future, she won't be called a genocider by a bunch of wackadoos in Hasan Piker's community. Like, do we hear ourselves? And of course, he says with his own situation, his side, I still pay taxes and live here because it won't make an actual difference. I mean, that's such a lame excuse. Like, if you're going to hold these crazy standards on other people, then yeah, you should expect those standards to be held to you.
And that's one of the craziest things I've seen about Hasan is that he'll hold somebody to a crazy standard. Say they should have done this, they should do that. But then when somebody tries to hold him to that same standard, then all of a sudden, no, it doesn't apply to him. Like, rules for thee, but not rules for me, essentially, in a nutshell. That's basically it.
As well. And also, he was questioned about the Houthi terrorist.
Oh, the one he called Luffy?
And specifically,
that
he
shit.
mentioned that Hasan has made multiple times where he compared this terrorist to Anne Frank. He called...
Nah, bro. He tried to compare that terrorist to fucking Luffy, bro. He tried to call that Houthi terrorist like Luffy from One Piece, man. Holy shit, that was wild work, bro. That was wild work.
Called her a modern-day Anne Frank. So here's his explanation.
Calling him a modern-day Anne Frank is probably 10 times worse.
Anne Frank.
Did you not hear what I asked you?
I'm just summarizing.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Anne Frank died before she could resist. But if she did, I would never
was
hold that
fucking
against
killed in
her.
a concentration camp, you
Exactly.
psychopath.
But if she
was
did,
exterminated with
but if
her
she
whole
did,
fucking
I would
family.
never
Her
hold
dad's
that
the only
against
one
her.
that
Would
survived
you?
and recovered
But
her
you
journal.
wouldn't
Are you
hold that
fucking
against her
mad?
either, Ethan? Right? Would you hold that against her? Would you hold that against
I wouldn't
Anne
hold
Frank
it
if
against her,
she-
but she wouldn't be the same historical like figure that said, despite my family being killed in concentration camp and everyone being murdered, I'm still a pacifist that sees the good in people. What the fuck is what's so confusing about that? Not kill Zionists, not nuke Israel, not a pike through Zionist assholes.
Yeah. I mean, are we serious? We're comparing what Anne Frank went through to a guy that's going around and committing acts of terrorism, shooting missiles at ships, taking over ships. Like, are we serious? It's absolutely insane. And also, I see people all the time defend that interview he had with this terrorist. They say, oh, what's the big deal? You're mad at Hasan, but you're not mad at these other major news outlets who have interviewed terrorists in the past?
See, here's the thing with those other news outlets, though, is they're not glazing the fuck out of whoever they're interviewing. They're just doing the interview. That's it. What Hasan was out there doing was glazing the fuck out of that Houthi terrorist, bro. Comparing him to Luffy and all sorts of bullshit, bro. Like, that Houthi terrorist was that man's best friend, bro. There's a difference. A huge difference, bro. Behind. This, like, and I don't like mainstream media. I'm gonna be real with you. Mainstream media, I've been to the Middle East before. They paint the Middle East as if it's always in the middle of war, which, I mean, there are parts where it is, but it's not always like that. As somebody who's been over there before, recently too, like last year, what the news will show you and what's actually going on over there, two completely different things depending on where you go. Two completely different things depending on where you go. Because unfortunately, the mass majority of people who watch that kind of news only see the Middle East as the whole entire nation's at war and yada, yada, yada. You know, they're not really looking too deep into it. But if you were to actually go over there, it's not the most safe place on the planet, but it ain't the most, well, I don't know. Everywhere is dangerous, but it ain't how the media tries to portray it. And trust me, I don't want to go back to the Middle East, but hey, it wasn't all freaking nukes and freaking bombs either. As you guys can probably tell, because I'm back in one piece.
There's no comparison because when you had your mainstream media outlets going out and interviewing, let's say, Al-Qaeda years ago, they weren't doing it and immediately going there and dropping to their knees and glucking on these terrorists like Hasan did with this Houthi pirate. Okay,
the glaze that Hasan was giving that Houthi pirate was nuts.
They weren't showing support for what they're doing like Hasan did with this Houthi pirate. Like, it's absolutely crazy. People think that there's some sort of a connection between his interview with this terrorist versus terrorists who have been interviewed by these major news outlets in the past. Not even comparable whatsoever. But then we have this whole section about the Frogan Sabra tier list.
Oh, the freaking this tier list, bro. Probably number one most garbage tier list on planet Earth, bro. They did basically a racism tier list for Arabs, basically, essentially. Essentially, what they did is they did a tier list where it's like, you know, these are the good Arabs, these are the bad ones. They basically put the Jews at the bottom of the list, essentially, in a nutshell. It's basically a racism tier. A racism tier list. That's all it was. I want to see how he responds to this.
It was a sponsored panel at Twitch.
At Twitch too, which is crazy.
Based on their race, essentially. If you were more Arab, you were in the S tier, meaning good. If you were more Jewish, you were in the F tier. Boo, bad, according to them. It's very obvious what they were doing during that tier list, and he's still defending this stuff to this day and acting like he has no idea what the issue is.
Let me follow up with this. Have you seen the thumbnail?
The thumbnail?
Yes, that's what I said. This is the thumbnail that's still up. Now, let me ask you this, Hasan. Here's Frogan's thumbnail for the Sabra hummus tier list. In the F tier is me and Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is not in the tier list. He has never explored or used. Why do you think Ben Shapiro is on the F tier?
Ethan?
Whoa, answer the question.
Again.
What, you're dodging?
I'm not iDubbbz.
But you can't make valid.
We all know
He's
why.
intentionally trying to not see what he's bringing up. I think it's very obvious. He knows if he's pressed to answer this, he knows why they're in the positions of the tier list that they are. They're trying to say that being Jewish is bad. That's what they're trying to do, and they're trying to play coy about it. And Hasan knows it, but he doesn't want to say it. But let's move on to another controversy that people have been talking about recently. It has to do with this photo from the content.
Hold on, is that Tensa Zangetsu? I think that's what they meant by the Bleach being mentioned. The fuck? This man got Tensa Zangetsu? What does this got to do with the debate, though? I gotta hear this, because why the fuck? What?
Line, there was a controversy with this sword. The hilt of the sword is a swastika. Now, is that a swastika from Nazi Germany?
No, it's not. Jesus Christ. Anybody, like, bro, it's meant to be a sign of peace, bro. It's from, it's Buddhism. Oh my God. I don't even study the religion of Buddhism and I know that much. Jesus Christ.
No, it is likely.
Is that why this got brought up?
Predates Nazi Germany. It's supposed to mean good fortune. It's a Buddhist symbol. There's nothing inherently controversial about it. But
oh my gosh, bro.
In his own fluff piece recently, Hasan Piker has 10 swords at his home where this was shot. And iDubbbz just so happened to pick up the one that Hasan refers to as the swastika sword.
Is that why Bleach got mentioned, bro?
The camera so everyone can see.
That is wild.
Video criticizing a Jewish person. At the very least, it looks really bad, even if it was an accident, right? And people will still not admit what the optics are here and why this looks bad, and they're still playing coy about it to this day.
I just find it funny that Tensa Zangetsu is getting mentioned but in a fucking debate about politics because it looks like a swastika even though it's not. Jesus, man.
As you can see with Hasan Piker.
What is this?
To say that in this debate that he doesn't believe it's a swastika, but it's a swastika sword in his own words.
It's
but also he tries to say
it's not a swastika sword. It's called Tensa Zangetsu. Jesus Christ, bro. How? I'm not gonna get into it.
Oh, Ethan, you can't tell me about this because you drew a swastika 9 years ago on the back of PewDiePie.
You have that much of an issue with swastikas considering you drew one on PewDiePie.
I'm a Jewish man, you fucking moron.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Is anyone in that room Jewish?
Is
anyone in that room? Did I draw swastika one time on?
Do you think that Jews have an exclusivity agreement with like being offended or not offended by Nazi imagery? You've done a Sig Heil approximately what? 50 times.
Why did I do a Sig Heil? Why did I do a Sig Heil?
I don't know.
Because you only watch clips on Twitter. I was making fun of Elon Musk and trying to see if it was valid or not.
Oh, thank you.
And by the way, as a Jewish man, are you going to tell black people not to use that?
He already knew why he was doing that shit. And I didn't even know about this. Everybody was clowning on the freaking whole Elon Musk salute thing. Because for whatever reason, everybody was calling Elon Musk a Nazi because he did the whole salute thing. They were trying to compare him to Hitler like they normally do. It's like their new insult for whatever reason. For Republicans, is everybody who doesn't agree with the Democrats is a Hitler. Like, this isn't Nazi Germany either, by the way. This isn't the 1930s, but whatever. But I digress. Everybody was clowning on freaking the whole thing. It was just a meme. For them, for that to be the reason why, though, for that to be the reason how Tensa Zangetsu got brought up in a fucking debate talking like this is crazy work, though.
N-word?
Wait, what?
Are you going to tell black people not to use the N-word because it offends you?
What? It's a pretty fair comparison, and of course, he has no answer to it because he's been caught in another situation where he's creating standards for other people but doesn't like the logical extensions of that. But I want to move on to this right here where they're talking about Creator Clash 3, which is going to be
I don't know what any of this is.
iDubbbz, pretty much right as recording this video, released another...
Like, at this point, I'm probably not going to be in the loop about any of this other stuff, so take whatever... I don't know, man. It's just, at this point, I got into the point where what I cared about anyways. Like that's crazy though, seeing Tensa's Zangetsu getting brought up in a conversation like this.
Video about H3, and apparently there's some parts about Creator Clash 3. I'm sure we'll talk about it tomorrow. But in this part of the debate, he basically says you helped ruin a charity event.
Listen to Hasan and you hear all these fucking...
Yes, you ruined a charity event. I hope you're proud.
So he's blaming Ethan for ruining a charity event, which, in case you don't know, with Creator Clash, an event run by iDubbbz, if they raise enough to cover the cost of the event, everything beyond that goes to charity. In the first one, they were able to give to charity. In the second Creator Clash, they didn't make enough money to even cover the expenses, therefore there was no money given to charity. And this year it's looking like an absolute disaster. There's pretty much no tickets sold. There's clearly not going to be enough to give away to charity. I think it's very obvious at this point. And now he's trying to hold that over Ethan's head. It's your fault.
How exactly is it his fault, though? Once again, I'm not in the loop about this at all. I don't know how this works. But how is it Ethan's fault again? I'm trying to actually, like, I'm trying to figure this out. Sounds like a fundraiser. Like, how does Ethan have any, like, what did Ethan tell him not to fundraise for something? Like, I'm confused.
Charities are not going to make money. No, I'm sorry. It's iDubbbz's fault that there's not going to be money going to the charity because it's his event and he has blown it up. He has completely ruined it. He didn't
wait. Did he make
properly? He tried to go back.
Content cop H3. Did he make like a content nuke on freaking Ethan? Is that why this is happening? Damn, that dislike ratio. God damn, he got cooked.
Back in for a second time after the failure of Creator Clash 2, and he also made this content cop that made people want to support him even less. He has blown up his own event, and now we're blaming it on Ethan Klein because the content cop blew up in iDubbbz's face. I think that's completely ridiculous, and also just because something has a charitable aspect to it doesn't mean everyone has to sit around and make sure it succeeds. Honestly, if you care so much about charity, screw Creator Clash, just give it directly to the charities and avoid all this rigmarole around
at that point.
But now I want to move to this right here. This is a very weird...
I mean, that's on him, honestly. Who on iDubbbz, I guess? I don't know who iDubbbz is that much. Like, I don't know anything about him at all. I'm gonna be real, but that's on him for trying to make a content cop or content nuke on Ethan, and then I guess it didn't go well. I've never watched it. I didn't even know that was a thing because I've been focusing on anime content and whatnot. And then expecting people to support afterwards. Like, at that point, if he wanted to be smart and do it, he would have held off on the content nuke or whatever, and then after the whole, event for the fundraiser is over, then go ahead and post that if he wants to. But I guess he got impatient and wanted to make a content nuke. I don't know. That's on him, though.
Where we see Hasan in a very blatant lie trying to say that Ethan Klein works with the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, which, by the way, making that assumption about a Jewish man that they must be a part of the ADL because they're Jewish, I think that's pretty anti-Semitic, but let's watch the clip.
Ed, and I'll quote a tweet that you made. Okay?
Yeah.
Go ahead. You said, I'll quote, he worked with the ADL to make Zionists a protected class on Twitch. Now, that is an outright lie.
I don't think it's an outright lie.
I worked with the ADL.
Took credit over it, didn't you?
Sorry. I worked with the ADL? What does that mean?
Yeah, as in, like, worked alongside. I don't think you're in the ADL.
Oh, that's what you meant when you said I worked with the ADL. I worked beside them, just incidentally together. You didn't mean that I worked with them privately to get people banned? Of course not.
No, I do think that.
Didn't you say you choose your words very carefully?
Alongside
bro, he's getting
You
cooked.
just told me
Hasan's getting cooked, bro.
Carefully, Hasan.
Once again, I can see now why everybody said he got cooked because this is bad.
Oh, okay, we're walking that back. Sometimes I speak up the side of my mouth when I say you work with the ADL.
This is really bad. He's getting cooked.
Go ahead. You had time
constantly come after me when his knows I'm not anti-Semitic and making these inferences that I am and like partnering with like the ADL and
damn in 4K.
Again, this is something that's like such a
damn.
You can't even own up to it. Like, just say, yeah, I said that. I can see why it would come off like I'm saying that Ethan directly worked with the ADL. It's just like a pointless, stupid lie that he made, and he just won't admit to it, which is not surprising in the slightest. But I want to share a little bit of this.
Oh, I seen this. This is the part, bro. Get ready for this. For anybody who hasn't seen the debate yet, bro. Nah, this part's about to be funny, bro. He crashes out, bro. This is the crash out of the century.
Halfway through, where he just starts crashing out. Like, Hasan literally just loses his mind. Let's watch a little bit of this.
Didn't leave because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe.
Okay.
Explain to me.
I can't wait to bring up obviously on the broadcast to make you fucking look like a dumbass.
I can't wait to.
Tell you
now explain what he means by that. We did not leave Iraq because we were Zionists. We left because we were no longer safe.
Are not Palestinian. You fucking moron. You racist piece of shit.
What?
Because Iraq and the
bro.
that arise out of
you are
Zionist
out of your mind.
Is not about Palestinians.
Okay, so what did the Jews in Iraq have to do with fucking Israel? You bigot. You are so out of your mind.
And then Iraqis,
dude, you screaming and grandstanding.
Nah, bro.
Racism during the pan-Arabic nationalist movements as a vindication for why, or a comparison as to why Israel had to do the Nakba.
Take a breath, bro. Like, when I heard
the crash out of the fucking century, bro. Like, that's how you could know. That's when you know the debate's cooked, bro. When you got somebody crashing out like this, it's over, bro. It's over. It's over, bro. Let's just pack it up.
Someone gets this mad, they're just shouting over the person they're debating. I think it's because they know they're in a corner and they're trying to fight their way out. This is a series of conversations they had about historical things, and it's like, again, like, wouldn't you think like Hasan would know a lot more than Ethan Klein? A lot of people,
like, once again, this debate based on, if you just take Ethan Klein and Hasan, if you don't know anything about them except for what they do, you know, Ethan Klein's a comedy guy, Hasan is the political dude. If you put that on paper, you would think Hasan won this debate, or they should win this easily. But then you look at the debate and all it is Hasan getting checked to left, right, and center, and then crashing out after he's getting checked and dismantled on live. Like, GG's, bro.
Fact check this stuff, and it's just like outrageous claims, and he's yelling because he's being checked in real time and he doesn't like the results. But also there was a debate in there about clip sources, which I think is the dumbest thing ever, where Hasan Piker was saying that Ethan gets his clip sources from bad people, where there was bad titles. Like, one of them was titled, the clip that he was shared was titled Hamas Piker, right? And literally during the same debates, he shared a file that was Chris CPS. Now, for those who don't know, there was about a month ago a false call made to CPS on Ethan Klein and his children, and that was something he had to deal with because psychos in some of these communities decided to abuse and weaponize CPS to basically get one over on Ethan Klein. So he literally set up the standard and then violated it himself in the same debate. Like, crazy stuff. Then there's this whole conversation about Destiny, which is a content creator that lives...
See, here's the funny thing about this guy, Destiny. When I did my, reaction to the content nuke, a bunch of dumbasses in my comment section, not a lot of them, but there were those a few people in my comment section who claimed that I watched Destiny just because I didn't support Hasan or Hamas, bro. Here's a newsflash for anybody who's watching this who still thinks that nonsense, because I know that there's going to be those few people in the comment section. Bro, Destiny and Hasan are both clowns, especially Destiny. In fact, I don't know who's bigger of the clown, like Hasan or Destiny, bro. Both of them are idiots. Both of them, bro. Destiny's basically a cuck who got his, the whole thing with his wife or girlfriend or whatever getting smashed by some other dude while he allowed that shit. And then, we're seeing Hasan get cooked right now. So to see, this is funny as hell. And yeah, no, apparently, yeah, it's like with Hasan, for some reason, this dude is just straight up obsessed with Destiny, and so are his fans, which is once again why I had those comments in my comment section thinking that I watch Destiny when I don't watch any of them, bro. I don't watch Ethan, Destiny, or Hasan at all. I just see this shit and I'm just like, hey, looks fun to react to. We're here. Like, bro, like, that's crazy.
In the mind of Hasan Piker,
Rent free though,
he
that's
believes
crazy.
Everything that happens to him is the work of Destiny. There's no connection whatsoever between Ethan and Destiny, despite Hasan believing that he wrote the content nuke that Ethan made on Hasan a few months ago. Let's just watch some of this.
That I think you're
That's
doing
crazy. That was made a couple of months ago.
Yeah, we'll see. So do you want to tell me what is your evidence that I work with or talk to or have any association with at all with Destiny?
What? Destiny? What?
What? Oh, what? The guy that I talk about fucking obsessively 100 times a day? That is like basically like the Antichrist, the Lord Voldemort community? Yeah,
Lord Voldemort is crazy.
Him, knowing him, talking to him. What is your evidence for that?
Oh, thank you for asking.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And you know what's crazy about this? Isn't Destiny, aren't Destiny and Hasan like left-wing freaking content creators? Like, why are they fighting each other? That's how you know the Democrats are cooked, bro. Two of their biggest streamers that support their party are getting, I guess, arguing with each other. Or at least one's obsessed with the other.
Is there video footage of you corresponding with someone in your Discord that literally aligns perfectly with Destiny's own Discord, offering clips for you to pull?
That sounds like a stretch.
You've also used...
That's pretty much as good as it gets. I'll spare you
Wait,
some more
so
time
what?
here. But yeah, his evidence is that there's a guy in the Discord server who also is in his Discord server.
That's it. No screenshots, no nothing, no voice chat.
Something funny. How rent-free all this is. The first thing that Hasan did after the debate was over was immediately tweet
I saw this clip.
Destiny.
I saw this clip. Not the one we're looking at now, but like there was like another one who tweeted out that the first thing that Hasan did was talk about Destiny as soon as he lost to Ethan Klein. That shit is funny.
Completely and utterly rent-free. Like it's actually insane. And by the way, I mean, like, I don't like Destiny. A lot of people don't like Destiny, but his obsession
right,
with
yeah, no, the dude's a clown.
pretty well documented at this point. But let's wrap it up here because there's only two more clips I want to show. This was at the end of the debate. I just want to share this one honestly because it's pretty funny.
And by the way,
you're not going to scare us. You're not going to.
I'll just say up front, we can end on that point.
Oh, I can keep going all day
sure
if you want to.
Yeah, I know. I know you go to bed tonight in a cool race car bed, but I have family.
Okay,
kids.
no, that's fine. Why are you thinking about what my bedroom looks like? It's kind of weird, man.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Take that as, like,
yeah.
a sexual comment.
Hasan knew he was
Very
cooked,
weird.
so he had to
Weird
try and
reaction,
get
but
that
he's
little
right.
bit in. He knew
goes
he
home
was
to his
cooked.
family, and Hasan, well, he goes home and stares at the ceiling and thinks about how he's no longer the top political streamer on Twitch, and then probably cries himself to sleep. But he had one more thing to say, wrapping up the debates when he was back on his own. He got rid of his mantle off of his shoulders here, and basically started going off saying that there's going to be a sea of brigaders as a result of this debate, and to be prepared for that.
Online. So in the upcoming days, you will see an endless sea of brigaders who are like, Ethan was so calm and kept his composure the entire time. TikTok will...
I mean, he was, though. That's the crazy part. You were the only one who crashed out. There's no clips of him. There's no clips of Ethan Klein crashing out. There's clips of you crashing out. Trust me, if there were clips of Ethan... If Ethan Klein did crash out, trust me, there'd be clips because you and your crazy fan base would be clipping that shit and posting it on Twitter, just like the people who support Ethan was out there posting the clips of you getting, cooked on Twitter with you crashing out. Like, what are we talking about?
Go crazy with clips going where people are like, what the fuck is this guy's problem about Ethan? Twitter most likely will also be going crazy with clips that are like, what the fuck is this guy's problem with respect to Ethan? But Reddit and Twitch and my Twitch chat will absolutely be brigaded to oblivion with people going, he was so intelligent, you got owned, little...
Okay, let me make this clear, by the way. I don't think necessarily that Ethan won the debate. It's more like
No.
Hasan Piker.
It sounds like to me that
lost,
Hasan beat
right? It was
himself.
like an unforced error. He just
cooked
screwed
himself
over start to finish, and he should have won based on the type of people and their backgrounds, especially when it comes to politics. Hasan Piker should have destroyed him, but it didn't go his way. He got embarrassed, and it's not just a couple small spots that are supporting Ethan Klein. I think the overall landscape across all social media right now is that Hasan Piker blew this.
Yeah.
And you can see
he got cooked
evidenced by the actual debate uploaded on his own channel. I mean, this is pretty pathetic for a video on his own channel on a debate like this to not even get close to a 50% like-dislike ratio. This guy is
this is almost as bad as the whole, what was it, the trash taste podcast crap. That's how bad this is. This is like the trash taste thing all over again. The only difference is it's on Hasan's own channel. So they can't even say that it was a bias thing. This is like his own channel. So you'd think of all of his followers would be uploading the crap out of it. But it looks like even with all of his followers, he's still getting cooked. At least as of this, that's crazy.
Factory at this point. Everything he touches gets dislike bombed into oblivion because people have had enough. They're repudiating him. They repudiate anything that has to do with him, and it's shown here once again. And of course, the orbiters were in full force, right? You have all of his favorites like Denim's TV saying Ethan demolished by Hasan. Holy moly. You have this one. Wake up, Ethan. That wasn't a debate. It was a massacre.
Yeah.
This one saying Ethan x Hasan debate fiasco. And one more. Hasan debates Ethan Klein. And of course, that's one of his many orbiters. Ethan Klein surrenders every major point.
The cope is unbelievable.
That's not too surprising.
The cope is crazy.
This was a big mess, and they agreed to possibly do more in the future. I mean, at the end of the day, whether you think Hasan won or Ethan won, I think we all won. We're all winning by getting free content.
Yeah, it's free content, man.
To watch. But for now, that's going to do
free content. Shit, Bleach mentioned, bro. Bleach mentioned. Somehow Tensa Zangetsu got put in a video talking about Palestine and Israel, bro. That shit is wild. But without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll leave the link down to this guy's video down below if you want to check it out. My main thing about this, though, is I just wanted to see how the hell Bleach got mentioned. And that's funny that the Tensa Zangetsu got mentioned because they called it the Nazi sword, bro. Jesus Christ, man. These people need to study up on other things other than, I guess, Israel, Palestine, bro. Like, what the fuck? Jesus. But without further ado, Shinobi signing off. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.